It all started on a quiet afternoon with officers on a routine patrol. Everything seemed normal until it wasn't. A call came in about a suspicious individual near a high-security government building. Acting quickly, the cops spotted a man who matched the description. He was well-dressed, carrying a briefcase, and acting unusually calm for someone being approached by the police. Without hesitation, the officers moved in, questioning him, and to their shock, deciding to arrest him. But there was something about this man they didn't realize. He wasn't just anyone. He claimed to be a Secret Service agent, but without any immediate proof, the tension escalated. As they searched for answers, the situation spiraled out of control, leading to a shocking twist that no one saw coming. What happens next will leave you speechless. As the officers tightened the handcuffs, the man remained calm, almost too calm for someone being arrested. He insisted they'd made a grave mistake, but the cops weren't convinced. His credentials missing. His ID nowhere to be found. All he had was a cryptic badge that didn't look official enough to trust. The officers, determined to follow protocol, loaded him into the patrol car. Meanwhile, whispers of the arrest began to circulate. A crowd gathered, some recording on their phones, others questioning if the police had gone too far. Who was this man? Why couldn't he prove his identity? The cops, now doubting their decision, contacted headquarters to verify his story. Back at the station, tension hung in the air. As calls went unanswered, the officers started wondering, had they just arrested someone far above their pay grade? Inside the station, the atmosphere grew tense. The arrested man, who still refused to give his name, sat silently in the interrogation room. His confidence was unnerving. Every time the officers pressed him, he responded calmly, repeating the same line. "You've made a serious mistake." It wasn't arrogance. It felt more like certainty, which only deepened the mystery. One of the younger officers started to question the situation. What if he's telling the truth? She asked her partner, who dismissed her concerns. Meanwhile, the man's briefcase sat unopened on a desk. Was it the key to unlocking his identity, or something much bigger? In another part of the station, a senior officer received an unexpected call. The voice on the other end was firm, almost panicked. "Release him immediately," they ordered. But why? And who exactly had they just arrested? The officer hesitated, gripping the phone tightly. "Who is this?" she asked, but the line went dead. Confused and uneasy, she returned to the others. The mystery man still sat calmly, watching everything through the glass wall of the interrogation room. It was as if he knew something they didn't, something they weren't ready for. The briefcase, still unopened, had become the center of attention. "We need to check what's inside," one officer said. But as they prepared to open it, a black SUV screeched into the station's parking lot. Men in dark suits stepped out, flashing badges that left everyone speechless. Secret Service. The room went silent. The lead agent demanded, "Where is he?" The officers exchanged nervous glances. What was happening? The man in custody looked up, smiled slightly, and said, "Took you long?" The Secret Service agents stormed into the station, their presence commanding immediate attention. The man in custody leaned back in his chair, his confidence growing as if the tables had just turned. One of the agents handed over a document marked classified and demanded his immediate release. But before the officers could react, another call came through, this time from the FBI. The voice on the line was stern. "Do not release that man. He's a high-value suspect in an ongoing investigation." The officers froze, caught between conflicting orders from two powerful agencies. The tension in the room became unbearable. The Secret Service agents exchanged sharp glances, clearly unsettled. "This is bigger than you know," one of them muttered. Meanwhile, the man in the chair smirked. "You are all playing catch-up," he said cryptically. What was his true role in all of this? The Secret Service agents stormed into the station, their presence commanding immediate attention. The man in custody leaned back in his chair, his confidence growing as if the tables had just turned. One of the agents handed over a document marked classified and demanded his immediate release. But before the officers could react, another call came through, this time from the FBI. The voice on the line was stern. "Do not release that man. He's a high-value suspect in an ongoing investigation." The officers froze, caught between conflicting orders from two powerful agencies. The tension in the room became unbearable. The Secret Service agents exchanged sharp glances, clearly unsettled. "This is bigger than you know," one of them muttered. Meanwhile, the man in the chair smirked. "You're all playing catch-up," he said cryptically. What was his true role in all of this? The room was thick with tension as the officers tried to piece together the truth. The FBI and Secret Service agents began a heated argument, each claiming jurisdiction. Finally, the man in custody spoke, his calm demeanor unshaken. "Enough. You all know who I am, and you know why this happened." He leaned forward, his voice carrying authority. "I was part of a covered operation. Your mistake could have cost lives, but thankfully it didn't." The Secret Service agents confirmed his story, revealing the man was on an undercover mission tied to national security. The FBI reluctantly backed down, and the officers, overwhelmed by the gravity of their mistake, released him. As he left, the man turned to the young officer who had doubted the arrest. "Trust your instincts," he said. Then, just like that, he was gone.